In the first part of this video, we are going to introduce some general chemistry concepts about color paints. In the second part, we will be more specific when we will discuss the same things related to oil paints, and we will introduce the concept of polymerization. If you are not familiar with chemistry, don't be afraid. These are very general concepts that you will be able to follow easily. Let's start now by introducing the two main components of any color paint: pigment and medium. Medium is a name mainly used in the art world. In chemistry, mediums are normally called with the name of solvents. But we could actually say that mediums belongs to the solvents family. In fact, in chemistry, solvent has a more general meaning, and not all of them are used to produce paints. In the future, in this course, we are going to call them with the name of medium, but I think that you should know that you can find them under a different name. The pigment is the chromatic part of the paint, so it can be of different colors. By our point of view, we will see the pigment as a dust made by a huge number of very small grains, all of the same color. Pigments can be organic or inorganic. They can be found in nature or they can be produced chemically. Pigments can be very dangerous for our health, so if you decide to work with them, it's better if you watch first the video on the oil colors production, where you will find some basic notion about safety. We'll see the mediums as very transparent fluids. They have a very important feature, which is their capability to become solid. They also can be organic or inorganic, natural or produced chemically. The medium's job is to trap the pigment, hold it together, and stick it to the support that we want to paint. Both pigments and mediums can be divided in two families: the polar and the apolar family. We won't get too deep in this matter because, by our point of view, it's enough to know that we can find pigments and mediums that belong to the polar family and pigments and mediums that belong to the apolar family. It's interesting to see what happens when we mix mediums from the same family and when we mix mediums from different families. Let's start, for example, to see what happens when we mix mediums that belong to the same apolar family. In this case, poppy seed oil and linseed oil, which are both used with oil colors. We have added some blue pigment in the linseed oil to help us see what happens. As you can see, they can be mixed, most of all if we help them using a spoon. Let's try now to mix some turpentine, which is another apolar medium also used with oil colors, and some water, which is a polar medium that can be used with acrylic paints. We have added some blue pigment inside the turpentine. As you can see, they can't be mixed, even if we use a spoon to help them. We are going to complete this part by saying that pigments and mediums from different families can be mixed, but they blend much better if they belong to the same family. So far, we have seen the two main components of any colored paint, the pigment and the medium. Without getting too deep, if we want to produce a paint, we need to mix them. The medium at the end is the part of the paint that characterizes it. So we can say that also paints belong to the polar or the apolar family according with the medium used to produce them. We can thin paints down using different mediums, as far as we use a medium that belongs to the same family. Let's start to talk now about oil paints. These are paints based on apolar mediums. In this course we will use three of them: linseed oil, poppy seed oil, and turpentine. As we said, we can use almost every pigment that we can find on the market, but in general, pigments will work much better with these mediums if they also are apolar. Let's see now what happens when we use our oil paints. Since the moment we squeeze them on the palette, a chemical process called polymerization will start. It's a very important process for us because it's a solidification process that will allow to our painting to get dry. Before we start talking about this process, let's introduce the concept of chemical bond. Don't worry, we won't get too deep. By our point of view, it's enough to know that when two or more atoms will join together, they will give origin to a molecule. We will call the connection between these atoms atomic bond. And the only thing that we have to know is that this connection is very strong. While when two or more molecules will join together, they will give origin to what we will call a molecular aggregation. We will call the connection between these molecules molecular bond, and the only thing that we really need to know is that it's much weaker than the atomic bond. That's it. Let's go back to our oil painting polymerization now. There are a few things that as painters we have to know about this process. The first is that the oil paint polymerization is the medium oxidation process. And this means that it will only start when the medium gets in contact with the oxygen. Another thing that we should know about this process is that it's a step process. At first the paint will turn from fluid to something gummy. Then, step by step, it will become harder and harder until at the end it will turn in something similar to a molecular crystal that it's nothing else than a large molecular aggregation, which, for what we have seen, it's pretty easy to break. As all the chemical process, it will not start and proceed uniformly. We will have areas where it will start earlier and areas where it will start later. As all the other fluids solidification process, with the only exception for the water, also the oil paint polymerization leads to its volume reduction. And since at the end it's a process that only involves the medium, this means that a thin paint with a higher concentration of medium will shrink more than the same paint but thicker. Thin paints will also have a longer polymerization time. These features of the oil painting polymerization, if not properly controlled, can be a problem for us, and we're going to see why later. Another thing that we should know about this process is that it's very slow. It takes a very long time, we are talking about many years, to be fully completed. This, from one side, is good because we don't have to worry about our paints getting dry while we use them. For example, if we want to change something in our painting, we can do it quite easily, even after some hours. But on the other side, it can be a problem because to complete a painting, according to the technique that we use, we may take days and sometimes even weeks. We have a few tricks that we can use to help us speeding the polymerization up. For example, one of these is to add something to the medium that works as catalyst. Like for example some metal solution, some turpentine or petroleum distillate. The pigment itself works as catalyst, and actually this is going to be a problem for us because according with the pigment used, our paints are going to have different polymerization times. And this means that our painting may not get dry uniformly. In few words, we may have areas where the polymerization will be faster and other areas where it will be slower. Let's see, for example, what happened to these palettes that we have prepared 10 days ago. The white is pretty solid, and we could expect this because this pigment has a very high concentration of zinc and titanium, which are both metals. Let's see now the other colors. As we can see outside, they are covered by a gummy but solid layer, while inside they are still fluid. But if we go to check the red, we can see that it's still completely fluid, even after 10 days. There is something that we should notice, and it's that many colors have started the polymerization outside, but not inside. And this happened because the external side is in contact with a lot of oxygen, which is a basic component for this process. This is why, if we check the other palette that has also been prepared 10 days ago, and that we have covered with some plastic warp, we can see that both colors are still fluid. This is because the plastic film didn't allow the contact between the oxygen and our paints. The heating is another thing that will speed the polymerization up. So, for example, if we want to make our painting getting dry faster, we can put it in a warmer room. This is why in summertime paintings get dry faster than in winter time. Let's see now what happens when we paint a new oil painting layer on top of an old one. This is a quite common procedure in oil painting. We use it, for example, if we have to do a rework or if we paint using the multi-layer method that we will see later in this course. Also in this case, the two layers may have different polymerization times. And if the polymerization of the bottom layer is faster than the top layer, we won't have any problem. But if the polymerization of the top layer is faster, although the solidification of the bottom layer should be already advanced, otherwise we won't be able to paint on it, it may happen that on the top layer, on a certain point, the polymerization overtakes the one of the bottom layer. We have seen that during the polymerization our oil colors will shrink. And we have also seen that it's not a process that starts and proceeds uniformly. That we will have areas where it starts earlier and areas where it starts later. In few words, while the polymerization goes on, our paints will shrink in the direction of those areas. So, to make it simple, the bottom layer will pull the top layer that on a certain point will break, and we will see appearing many cracks on our painting. To prevent this problem, it's a good habit to always thin the top layer more than the bottom layer. It may also help if we use some catalyst on the bottom layer and avoiding using on the top layer pigments that we already know having a faster polymerization. And with these last suggestions, we have concluded our introduction to the chemistry fundamentals. If you enjoyed this video, we will really appreciate if you could click on like and subscribe to our channel. It will also help us very much if you could leave a comment. Thank you for watching this video and see you in the next one.